Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, October 22, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:54 p.m. Jamaica time, we can see that we now have Tropical Storm Melissa right here to the southeast of Jamaica. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite imagery of the storm, we can see all of the clouds, the showers and thunderstorms associated with the system right here to the south of Hispaniola, still down there, very stationary as we speak. And if we look at the close-up of this system, we can see the clouds, the showers and the thunderstorms associated with this tropical storm right in here. One big huge blob of thunder showers in general, all of these blues into the greens, yellows, oranges, reds, blacks, grays, purples, that represents the crazy deep convection, especially right here. It has been hugging the coast of northern Colombia right here. Very bad weather out there as we speak. A lot of lightning within those clouds as well. We see the sparkling white dots, and it has been stationary for quite some time now, basically not really moving. They say that it's moving 2 miles now, 1 mile per hour. But boy, let's just say that it's stationary, not really moving at all, barely moving. And if we take a look here at the latest from the Hurricane Center, they've stated that it is now moving west at 1 mile per hour. Well, 1 mile per hour, not 1 mile, 1 mile per hour. So that's barely moving at all. It should start pushing towards the northwest. As you can see, most of the S's take it up to the northwest. And look at the jump that it should make from Wednesday all the way to Saturday. Barely a jump at all. Barely any movement from Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Saturday. Still right here to the southeast of Jamaica is where it's expected to be. And the cone of uncertainty, as you know, could mean that the system could be anywhere within all of this. It could be on this side, closer to Jamaica. It could be on this side, closer out to sea. But as of right now, this is what the average shows from the Hurricane Center. Taking it up into the Asia represents hurricane status. And we spoke about this over the past couple of days, that we know that intensity model guidance isn't really the Hurricane Center strong suit. So now we finally have some M's on the map. We didn't want to see them, but we know the M's represent major hurricane status. You know, that's talking about anywhere from 3 to category 5 status. Boy, we don't want that at all. That's very like status. As of right now though, it is only packing 50 mile per hour wind, so it hasn't been strengthening like that at all. We know that tropical storms usually pack anywhere from 39 to 73 mile per hour winds. And as you can see here, the tropical storm wind field extends to a great deal, especially to the north and to the east of the system's center of circulation for sure. And we can see the pinks right here across southern Haiti that we know still represents the hurricane watch. And remember, they have a hurricane watch up for Haiti because the GFS still is showing that northward movement into Hispaniola. And boy, as much as the GFS is showing that solution, clearly most of the models have been showing more of a northern, if not a western kind of trend, similar to what the Euro has been showing. So Jamaica is still under a tropical storm watch. Don't be surprised if it changes to hurricane watch, if not hurricane warning, as time goes on. And the Euro spaghetti model plots still in consensus that the system should be pushing more so to the northwest, and then maybe even taking a lift upward into portions of Cuba, if not Jamaica. It definitely has the major hurricane that they predicted. The GFS ensemble starting to cave more so to what the Euro has been talking about or has been showing. So more of a northwestern kind of track, and then pushing northeastward, maybe into Jamaica, if not Cuba. And we see that we have less models now going over Cuba. But these are thus the spaghetti model plots. What about what the actual GFS and Euro are showing? We're going to be looking at that shortly. But before we do that, we need to look at the intensity model guidance. Yesterday we saw only at least one or two of these models actually making it up to category 4 status. Now even more models actually taking it up to category 4 status. As of right now, most of them still in tropical storm status. Then within the next 3 days, so after the next 3 days, so we're talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so about Sunday we should get into category 1 status. Don't be surprised if it happens sooner than that. Category 2, category 3, we see a lot of the models getting up to category 3 status, and some of them making it up to category 4, and we even have 2 of them that make it up to category 5 status. Boy, we just hope that that's not the case, and Jamaica is not, that close to the system, especially if we get those hurricane force wind. If we get those hurricane force winds, we don't want that at all. Let us see what the latest Euro model run is showing. So we're looking at the latest Euro that came out today. So the 12Z run, and this is valid for 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we can see the rainfall here across the waters, especially to the southeast of Jamaica. Jamaica should be getting in on some rainfall by that time, so 7 a.m. on Thursday for sure, as the system inches closer to us, even though it's moving at 1 mile per hour right now. What does the GFS show? The GFS is a bit closer to the southern tip of southwestern Haiti, and we even have a stronger system by that time, just to show that the GFS is still sticking to its guns and still sending the system into Hispaniola. I wonder when that will change. What does 18Z on Friday show? So this is 1 p.m. on Friday, and we see the system still right here just off to the southeast of Jamaica. What does the GFS show? System bringing it, GFS bringing it into Haiti and the Dominican Republic, already making landfall there. 18Z on Saturday from the GFS. Let's see, I think I loaded 2 18Zs for Saturday. Let me load up the Euro for 18Z Saturday. Here we go. So apparently the system should be pushing a bit more west of where the Friday maps had it. So this is what it showed on 18Z on Friday, just right here to the southeast of Jamaica. Then 18Z on Saturday, right here now to the south, directly to the south of us. The GFS having the system still affecting portions of Hispaniola right there. And then we're heading into Sunday now. 18Z on Sunday has the system more so just to the south of western Jamaica. That's where the center of circulation should be. It's going to be sending in that southerly flow, a lot of rainfall if this actually verifies. The GFS right here for 18Z on Saturday. Well, I think this should be showing Sunday now. Here we go. So we're heading into Sunday now, and as you can see, 18Z on Sunday has the system to the north of Hispaniola right there. The Euro has the system right here to the south of Jamaica. Still very interesting forecast maps in general, even although both the Euro and the GFS models are still at odds at what should be taking place. But the main takeaway from all of this is that there's going to be a lot of rainfall. This is the tropical storm Melissa rainfall forecast from the Hurricane Center, and keep in mind that what they have shaded right here in the mesh kind of looking patterns right here represents a lower confidence in what is predicted, because even across Jamaica into southern Hispaniola, we see the greens into the yellows into the gold. That represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 8 inches of rainfall in some spots. So what they're saying is that this might not happen. It could definitely not really take place at all. There's a low confidence, but what they're sure about is where we only have the colors, so no mesh out to sea. Of course they're confident because the clouds are already out there and the system is already doing its thing. So the rainfall totals are even already accumulating in regards to the oranges, the reds, the burgundies, the pinks, getting up to 30 inches of rainfall out to sea as we speak. But I want for you to keep in mind that this map from the Hurricane Center is basically showing all the rainfall that's expected from now, 18 UTC on October 22, so that's from 1 p.m. today all the way up to 0Z on October 26. And if calculated, that's about from now all the way up until 7 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, so this is just the next couple of the next 3 days at most. So this is what it is showing, but we're going to be going even further, more than the next 3 to 4 days. We're heading into the 7-day time frame. So this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Wednesday, October 29. And as you can see right here, Jamaica, the entire island now is shaded in the blues. Yesterday we saw it mainly across the central to the eastern end. Now it's the entire island that is engulfed in the rainfall that could trigger, the crazy flash flooding, because this is a lot of rainfall. As a matter of fact, anywhere from the dark reds into the purples into the pinks, that's representative of anywhere from 2 all the way up until the 25 inches of rainfall range right here that we see on the key on the right. So there could definitely be a lot of flash flooding across Jamaica if this actually verifies. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's a case where the system stays out at sea for the majority of its life and even drifts even further away from us. The GFS would more than likely bring most of the rainfall still across section of Hispaniola, because that is the direction that the GFS has the system going still. After all these days, the GFS is still sticking to its guns, taking the system towards the northeast. And we see Jamaica only shaded in the yellows, oranges, reds, maybe the dark reds, maybe 2 inches of rainfall or less at most. And that would definitely be a good scenario for Jamaica if that were, or if that was to take place. And we see the close-up here of Jamaica regarding the rainfall totals. Trust me, all of these whites into the grays, that's representative of anywhere from 300 all the way up to 500 millimeters of rainfall. Yesterday we saw 1,000 millimeter right here across the eastern end, so we are glad that it went down a bit. But look at that, 1,200 out to sea. Either way, it's still a very bad situation for us. There will definitely be a lot of flash flooding for sure, landslides, mudslides, if this is supposed to really take place. And if we take a look at what the GFS is showing regarding the system, you see the less rainfall, especially considering that the GFS has the system pushing over into Hispaniola. We see the blues into the greens, into the yellows, into the oranges, pinks and reds that represent anywhere from 10 millimeters, as a matter of fact anywhere from 5 millimeters of rainfall, all the way up to the 123 millimeters of rainfall that we see across Portland. We'll see it actually plays out, and whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we see this blue spike line right here off the east coast of the US associated with a cold front. We can also see the symbol associated with Tropical Storm Melissa right here across the south central Caribbean, a ridge of high pressure to the north, another ridge of high pressure across the northeastern portion of North Atlantic. Frontal system with a trough attached to it, stretching all the way down to the north of the main development region. A tropical wave right here just to the west of another tropical wave that is very near to the Cabo Verde Islands. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, let's see if we can make out all of the entities that we just mentioned. Clouds associated with the cold front, first of all, right here. Clouds associated with Melissa right here, and we can definitely see that low level flow of the clouds pushing from right to left, especially in that anti-clockwise flow, with the deep convection right here still being sheared off towards the east by that upper level wind shear. The tropical wave, there's a tropical wave somewhere in here, and there's another tropical wave somewhere in here, and we know that they are definitely being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, October 22, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast of parts of some northern parishes in Jamaica, and we know that it would have spilled into sections of some eastern, central, western, and especially southern parishes during the afternoon. And we know that northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, while southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas, while our eastern parishes, we're referring to those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Or central parishes, we're referring to those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While our western parishes, we're referring to those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 9:26 a.m., the visible satellite images were posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the clouds that were bringing some overcast skies, if not some rainfall. To section of the north coast, sections of Portland got on some rainfall. So too sections of St. Mary at that time, and we had some rainfall coming into section of St. Thomas as well. And then by afternoon, we saw where the thunderstorms definitely lashed sections of eastern, central, and western Jamaica, just as predicted, with the brunt of the activity on the south coast. So sections of Portland, St. Thomas, sections of St. Mary into St. Anne got on some of the action. So too sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth into Westmoreland. That is where we saw the sparkling yellow dust that we know represent lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely had some thunderstorm activity across the south coast for sure. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost sunlight, we can make out the clouds pushing in from the east, all of that moist easterly flow, all courtesy of this tropical storm to the south. And then we had that upper level wind shear blowing those cloud tops back to the east. So lots of rainfall. It has already begun, and there's definitely a lot more where that came from on Thursday for sure. And even the infrared close-up satellite imagery right here confirms the thunderstorms that were taking place today across especially the southern parishes. All of these blues into the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds that represent the cumulonimbus cloud cover, not to mention the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine right in here. And even at the end of it all, we saw a huge thunderstorm burst right here to the east of us to set the stage for some night rainfall that I'm hearing right now out my door. I can hear that it's raining in my part of St. Thomas as we speak. And we definitely have the Jamaican Doppler radar right here to confirm what took place across the island today. That nice rain band that pushed into St. Thomas, the rainfall across the southern parishes during the afternoon, all of the greens into the yellows, into the oranges represent some light to moderate teams, some heavy rainfall that affected sections of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, sections of St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And then at the end of it all, look at the rain band pushing in from the east to affect sections of St. Thomas and eventually sections of Portland. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing even more on the latest still image of, showing what's taking place right now. But before we do that, we're glad to see that the Flatbridge camera is back up and running. Remember, we had a crazy thunderstorm in St. Catherine a couple of days ago that caused it to be shut down. Or I believe there's an outage in the area. But as you can see here, definitely nice times around there now. People in their vehicles going about their business. The Rio Cobra definitely murky to confirm that they've definitely been getting some decent rainfall upstream. And definitely dry around there today for the most part. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, keep in mind that this was showing 5:35 p.m. today. So if you'd like to see more live streams like this where you can actually rewind and see what's happening now, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint quite the picture for where we had that rainfall today, especially across sections of some eastern, central, western, and especially southern parishes for sure. And we had some comments that came in to confirm what the weather is like in some of our followers' areas today. We have active 4081 setting place wet and muddy. We also have on our Facebook page, did we see any comments coming in on our Facebook page? Let's see, let's load up. We had at least 7 comments that came in. So we have Kimali Osborne stating Portland on and off rain conditions. We have Juliet stating Westmoreland partially cloudy skies, no rain. We have Gavin Thompson stating we got a lot of rain in Maypen, that's in Clarendon. We have Sophia stating St. Thomas rain is dewing. We have Tasha stating pure rain in Clarendon. We have Paulette stating Bogwalk, St. Catherine mostly overcast skies but no rain. We have Rakisha stating Westmoreland no rain now, 6:54 p.m. And we even had some comments that came in here on our Instagram page. We had Eastman_music stating sun is shining at Red Hills Road. We have Candy_Gucci stating raining in Buff Bay, Portland. We have rain on and off Morant Bay, St. Thomas from She's_Majesty 27. We also have Forever_Lay_Baby stating right now sun burn up Station Way in a Maypen. We have Marshmallow 433 stating on and off rain in Ochi from around midday. We have Gorgeous_Martina stating rain fell today hard in Linstead. That's in St. Catherine. We have Mrs_Boss Lady stating rain in Eastern St. Thomas. Thanks for confirming. We have Edward Stanisha stating I hide today so till thunderstorm was crazy in South Manchester this evening. Wow. We have Zine stating Portmore dry like chips. We have Marlon_One God stating Clarendon wet. And we even had some comments that came in here close-up satellite image on our TikTok page. We have some comments that came in. We have Roger stating hot here in Westmoreland, and we had the official Bless stating St. Anne and it is raining right now. Thank you all for confirming what the weather is like in your area for today. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather News website, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar imagery, the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar imagery, and the latest Cayman radar imagery. We want to see exactly what's taking place across the island right now. Alright, so the latest still image here from the Weather News website. It is showing 0025 UTC, which is actually 7:25 p.m. So this just came out 12 minutes ago, considering that it is 7:37 p.m. right now. And as you can see, we have some clouds across the eastern end. We see the whitish into the bluish shades. So that makes sense why I'm hearing rainfall outside. And we even see some convection right here across the waters to our east. What do we see underneath these clouds? Let's just look at the very latest still image here from the Jamaican Doppler radar side. It is actually showing 0014Z, so that's 714, and as you can see, we have the greens into the yellows. That represents that light to moderate team, some slightly heavy rainfall currently affecting sections of Portland into St. Thomas. We also see some rain bands right here to the south of central Jamaica. So we're actually starting to get on some decent rainfall across the eastern end, all courtesy of the system to our south that is Tropical Storm Melissa. And even the Cuban Doppler radar is confirming that rainfall. We see it showing the greens into the yellows, that moderate heavy band across the eastern end. We see the time frame as well. This is as of 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time. So that just came out 8 minutes ago, considering that it is 7:38 p.m. right now. Definitely confirming what we're seeing on the Jamaican Doppler radar, as well as what we're seeing on the latest infrared right here. And even the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar is confirming that rainfall that is pushing into eastern Jamaica as we speak. Look at the greens into the slight yellows. That's some moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall. And we even see some decent rainfall right here to the south of Guantanamo, to the northwest of Haiti as well. Regarding the Cayman radar, Not really seeing much of anything across western Jamaica right now. But we do see some rain bands right here to the north and to the south of the Cayman Islands. Some moderate to slightly heavy rainfall for sure. Regarding what's taking place right now, the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel. This is showing, where is this again? Okay, this is downtown Maypen. And as you can see, we have the people walking about, going about their business. And we have people in their vehicles going about their business. As you can see, it's fair conditions right now. Nothing to do with bad weather taking place at this time in this area. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in the grays as well as the slight blues. That represents average to below average temperatures, at least 1 degree Celsius below average. And we know the average temperature for the month of October across Jamaica is around 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 31.6 degrees Celsius. So it should be receiving anywhere from 30.6 to 31.6, and it should even be cooler than that, especially in the vicinity of showers and thunderstorms for sure. And we're grateful also that we don't see any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS online Twitter page. I have to highlight it. We usually have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we're grateful that we don't see any outages here from my JPS online Twitter page for any parish in Jamaica. But if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty. And put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds and the whites within those reds. And we can see the dry air across the northern portion of North Atlantic, all the way off the east coast of the US extending down into the Gulf. We know that the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. Notice we hardly have any clouds where we have the dry air. That is what the dry air does. But look at where we have the blues. Wherever we have the blues, that is where we have the clouds. The blues represents that moist air, and that's what we want more of for sure. But are we going to be getting in on too much here across the Caribbean regarding Melissa? Because you know that the moist air can definitely bring clouds, and the clouds definitely bring us some rainfall to cool down our temperatures. Boy, the little rain causing the power to come out. Did you just hear that beep? That's a whole power outage. I'm lucky that I have my equipment hooked up to a little battery backup, so no internet loss and no power outage for my desktop computer. Alright, boy, this is just the beginning. Melissa is starting. I'm getting the rainfall, I'm getting the outages. Alright, so the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, as you can see here, nothing to worry about as we head into October 23, 24 and 25. Jamaica should be in the clear, even though we have some Saharan dust in the greens pushing through portions of the eastern main development region, pushing from east-west. Nothing really to worry about. All of that should be, staying over there and dissipating. We have nothing to worry about at all because that the vigorous plume of Saharan dust is represented by the oranges into the pinks, and we don't see any of that these days at all. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, I think I honestly don't think this could happen, but let's say it does, because the fact that Melissa slowed down now to 1 mile per hour, I think that the model that came out today, the 12Z model, was actually working with the forward speed of the system. Maybe it would have sped up and reached, but well, we'll see. Either way, we see the dark blues into the purples, into the pinks, into the burgundies. And that represents anywhere from 2 all the way to maybe 6 meter wave heights, all courtesy of the system's anti-clockwise flow around that circulation, bring it up to that 50 mile per hour threshold. You know, when it comes to knots, we're referring to 34 to 64 knots. So that is what is expected. So that anti-clockwise flow to the southeast of us. And we see the waves, the close-up of Jamaica regarding the waves. I hope the fisher folk are taking heed. To the north of Portland tomorrow, 2.1 meter wave height. To the south of St. Thomas, 3.1 meter wave height. To the north of St. Anne, 1.3 meter wave height. To the south of Clarendon, 1.5 meter wave height. To the north of Hanover, 1.1 meter wave height. To the south of Westmoreland, 1 meter wave height expected. And that is because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of an east-northeasterly, if not a northeasterly flow, and let us confirm. To the north of Portland, 18 knot winds. To the north of St. Anne, 16 knot winds. To the north of Hanover, 16 knot winds. And we see it's mainly from the northeast. Right here to the south of Westmoreland, 11 knot winds from the north. Right here to the south of Clarendon, 14 knot winds from the northeast. And to the south of St. Thomas, 23 knot winds from the northeast. And we know the closer we get to the center of circulation, the winds are going to be going a bit stronger. So we expect rainfall, especially across the northern and eastern sides, because that is the direction that the flow is coming out of. And then, you know, the usual daytime heating rainfall wherever we have the least amount of wind, so that's the south coast tomorrow, and the upper level wind shear coming in from the southwest tomorrow. So that could definitely favor some of the high level clouds to be sheared off towards the north coast. So unlike today, where when we had the thunderstorms, they were being blown off towards the east, these cloud tops will be blown off towards the northeast for sure. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS, they are both valid for 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time. And as you can see here, we have some rainfall across the northern and the eastern end of the island on the Euro. GFS is mainly northeastern and eastern end, so we're talking about St. Mary, Portland into St. Thomas, getting on that rainfall, and we're already getting on that rainfall as we speak. Even although the Euro is trying to incorporate portions of St. Anne, Trelawney and St. James, GFS not so much right now. Skipping ahead to about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time now, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time on Thursday. Look at the consensus for rainfall. Well, first of all, this is the 9 a.m. forecast for the Euro. Let me load up the 9 a.m. forecast from the GFS. Alright. So there we go. So this is the forecast for the same time period on the GFS. And as you can see here, clearly we're still getting on some rainfall by 9 a.m. across the northern and eastern end, especially the east, Portland into St. Thomas. Tomorrow is definitely the day for no school or work for sure, because the rainfall definitely begins tomorrow. As a matter of fact, it already started in my area. And then we're heading into 3 p.m. territory. So 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Well, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. As you can see right there on the GFS, a lot of rainfall still affecting the northeast, the east, and the even section of some southern parishes. So we're talking about St. Mary, St. Anne, Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, section of southern Hanover, southern St. James, southern Trelawney getting on some of the action as well. And for the same time period, the Euro is showing something similar, especially across the far eastern end, where we're seeing the greens into the yellows into the oranges. That's a lot of rainfall already, and this is just the beginning for us. Skipping ahead now to about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7 p.m. Jamaica time. We're still seeing that rainfall, especially across the northeast and the eastern end on both the Euro and the GFS maps. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps that are showing all the rainfall that's expected within the next 24 hours. So both of these maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Thursday. And the Euro is going bonkers with the rainfall totals. 1 inch of rainfall, especially on the north coast. 1.45 in Kingston, St. Andrew, 3.16 in Portland, 3.01 in St. Thomas. The GFS a bit more reserved with the north coast, but the south coast is where it's at. 1.01 in Kingston, 1.59 in Portland, 1.55 in St. Thomas. We'll see it actually plays out, and whatever happens, boy, we just have to take it, because we're now in October. It is the wettest month of the year, And in Portland, with bar graph is being shown right here, we usually see up to 230 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 9 inches of rainfall. While in Trelawney, we usually receive up to 182 millimeters of rainfall in October. That's about the same as 7.2 inches of rainfall. And if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of October or for the entire year, you can visit nomadseason.com, and that website will show you that information. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top. I wonder if you can hear the heavy rainfall in my ear right now out there. It's crazy. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top. As we go to the next 168 hours, that's the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as well, as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds into the oranges, the yellows and the greens. That represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. Alright, so as you can see, we're heading into 12Z on Friday because we already looked at Thursday. So 7 a.m. on Friday still has the system right here to the southeast of Jamaica, still sending us a nice moist easterly flow, so a lot of rainfall coming into eastern Jamaica. And then on Friday afternoon, we're seeing that rainfall still affecting eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Friday morning, not really much of anything according to the GFS. GFS is wrong and strong, sending the system towards Haiti and the Dominican Republic. My goodness. Friday afternoon, still not really much of anything across Jamaica on the GFS. Boy. On the Euro for Saturday morning, we clearly see the system starting to inch closer to the west. More moisture expected for eastern and central parishes. Then on Saturday afternoon, we're seeing that rainfall across central and eastern parishes once again. What do we see on the GFS? Saturday morning, maybe some rainfall across the northeastern end. We're also still seeing that rainfall lashing portions of Hispaniola by that time. Saturday afternoon, rainfall across the eastern end again. And then as we head into Sunday morning on the Euro, we're seeing that system more so to the south of us. Definitely by that time should be up to hurricane status for sure. And then on Sunday afternoon, we see it intensifying even more as it is right here situated to the south of western Jamaica. What does the GFS show for Sunday morning? Still has that system across the Dominican Republic, more so northeasterly flow, bringing that rainfall across the northeastern parishes. Then the same thing across those areas during the afternoon. What do we see on Monday morning? Monday morning, we see that system to the southwest of Jamaica now. Definitely up to major hurricane status for that time, if I'm not mistaken. Then on Friday afternoon, we see it still to our southwest, but we're still getting a lot of moisture. What does the GFS show? Did I say Friday afternoon? Monday afternoon. Monday morning here, system to the north of Dominican Republic on the GFS. Monday afternoon, still up there and inching away. Maybe some isolated shores across central Jamaica. What do we see on Tuesday morning on the Euro? Tuesday morning, it looks like the system is starting to lift back up into us. A lot of moisture still coming through. Tuesday afternoon, look at it lifting northward, and we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid. Oh yeah, did you see it? The lift lifted right into western Jamaica and made landfall. This is within the 7-day time frame, boy. Let us hope and pray that it doesn't do something like this at all, because that would spell problems for us. A lot of flooding for sure. Do we want to see any of that? No, we don't. But why does it look like this is what's going to be taking place? What does the GFS show? And keep in mind that this is way out, so the tracks could definitely change. So take that with a grain of salt. And the GFS right here at the end of the next 7 days brings the system all the way out to sea, right here to the east of Bermuda. Very interesting. And we already showed the total accumulated precipitation, but we're showing it again. I mean, look at these rainfall totals that's expected across the Greater Antilles, including Jamaica. You're talking about the dark reds into the purples, into the pinks, into the peaches, into the blues. And that represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 25 inches of rainfall in and around Jamaica. Even more than that if this actually verifies. The GFS having most of the rainfall across Hispaniola into Puerto Rico, because that is the direction that the GFS is taking Melissa. And we spoke about the close-up of Jamaica regarding the rainfall totals. The whites into the grays that represents anywhere from 300 millimeters of rainfall all the way up to maybe 500 millimeters of rainfall if this actually verifies. The GFS, of course, is less because the GFS brought the system into Hispaniola. The blues into the greens, yellows, oranges, red. That represents a total of anywhere from 5 millimeters all the way up to the 123 millimeters of rainfall that's expected across Portland. We'll see it actually plays out, and whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Taking a look at the wider view of the Atlantic. So as stated, we have some tropical waves right here just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. We're still watching Melissa right here. 1 mile per hour movement, still bring a lot of moisture into Jamaica. Deeper convection right here, however, to the south of Hispaniola, to the north of northeastern Colombia, to the north of northwestern Venezuela, to the northwest of the ABC Islands. Out there is getting the worst of the weather right now across the entire Atlantic. And we see that moisture sending itself into eastern Jamaica, and there's a lot more where that came from. But regarding the Doppler radar imagery near Puerto Rico, what's taking place down there now? Not really much, just some rain bands to the south of Puerto Rico, to the east of Guadeloupe, in and around Dominica. Regarding the Barbados radar, we're seeing some rain bands right here, pushing from east-west towards southern Dominica, some rainfall towards southern Guadeloupe. You also see some rainfall pushing into section of the Grenadines, some rainfall that affected portion of Tobago as well. And if we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see the moisture that affected portion of the northern portion of the Dominican Republic. Some moisture right here to the north of northeastern Colombia, just as we stated, associated with Melissa. We also see some moisture across the Windward Islands, like what we stated earlier. But regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that from now up until 10 p.m. on Thursday, there should definitely be a lot of rainfall, especially with the dark reds into the purples, into the pinks. That represents anywhere from 2 all the way to maybe 4 inches of rainfall for portions of eastern Jamaica, sections of southeastern Cuba, the Bahamas, southern Hispaniola getting on some of that. And we even see the greens into the yellows, into the oranges and the reds across sections of Puerto Rico, section of the Lesser Antilles, northern South America into Central America as well. Regarding what's taking place across the Eastern Pacific, we can see right here, just to the southwest of Mexico, we have that code red, something that has a 70% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. Taking a look at the infrared, we can see the cloud showers and thunderstorms associated with it. So could it acquire the next name on the list, which over here is Sonia? Only time will tell. Regarding what's happening on the Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific side of things, we're still watching that code yellow right here just to the southwest of India, that code orange right here to the southwest of Indonesia, that tropical cyclone that was named Chenge right here to the northeast of Madagascar. Still watching tropical storm Feng Shen, which has now pushed inland into Vietnam, and to the northeast of that right here, just to the southeast of Taiwan, we have a code orange, something that has a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. And looking at the infrared, we can see that the clouds have definitely dissipated regarding Feng Shen, pushed inland for sure, but we see that area to the southeast of Taiwan trying to get its act together as it's attached to a frontal system. Regarding tropical cyclone Chenge to the northeast of Madagascar, we see that it's not really looking that organized like it was looking like a couple of days ago. As we stated, it's not going to be making it up to hurricane status. The more west it pushes, the more it decreases in intensity. Right now it is packing 55 knot winds. I wonder that these systems that pack anywhere from 34 to 64 knot winds are classified as tropical storms, and it should be losing its intensity the more west it pushes. Regarding tropical storm Feng Shen, we can't even make out where it's located, but it's somewhere in here. So more than likely by tomorrow we don't have anything here to monitor. We see that it is packing 35 knot winds right now, and it should continue pushing inland southwesterly into Vietnam, losing that intensity as it goes over land. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.